What is up, everyone? Welcome to another edition of Live Locks presented by Scores and Odds. If you haven't checked it out already, just making bad life choices. Going over to scoresandodds.com where you got picks for me, Meansy, Daniel, all the greats. Plus, you get access to our nice little prop checking tool where you can see exactly what we have projected for each individual prop. Plus, where the best lines are, and most importantly, you get access to Grant's Action Lounge. What is Grant's Action Lounge? Well, it's my Discord where I'm throwing in all my picks each and every day. Just go to scoresandodds.com/Discord and get on in there. We got football. We got basketball. We got things to bet on. Hope you had a good Christmas. I know I did. Made a little bit of money. Not too bad. So let's just go ahead and get right into it. Starting off with basketball. First off, I've got a few overs in this Cleveland and Nets game. I like the over of Kevin Durant, 37.5 points, rebounds, assists, minus 111 over at Caesars, over 26.5 points, minus 125 over at Sports Illustrated. I know that the line is slowly moving. I still like it at 27.5 and minus 105 over at MGM. I know we have projected for under that, but I don't really understand why. Kevin Durant has hit this at a 75% clip on the season. I know a lot of those games has been without Kyrie Irving. Some have been without Ben Simmons. I know that they eat into his usage. I know that this is a tough matchup versus Cleveland. Both these lines are just too low. He's hitting this number over at a 75% clip. I'm rolling with the over here. I don't think it matters too much with the matchup. Even with Kyrie in the lineup, he's still hitting this over at a pretty decent clip. Also hitting the over on Darius Garland, over 19.5 points, minus 106 over at FanDuel. And Donovan Mitchell, over 27.5 points, minus 104 at FanDuel. You can get this at 26.5 with like minus 120 juice in some spots. I wasn't able to get much money down on that, so hit it at 27.5. Mitchell been averaging 30 points per game this season. I know it's a little bit of a tougher matchup going up against the Nets, who have been a decent defensive team so far this year, but this number is just far too low. It should be at 28.5, maybe even 29.5. I'm rolling with the over. Paul George over 24.5 points, minus 108 over at Caesars. No Kawhi in the lineup here. This is just a bad overall line. Paul George is averaging 26 points per 36, basically a point per minute. Without Kawhi in the lineup going up against Detroit, 6-point spread, so decent chance that this game ends up staying close. Detroit, the second worst defense in the entire league. I absolutely love Paul George over 24.5 points. Vooch over 2.5 assists, minus 125 at FanDuel. We have projected for a little bit over 3, solid line. Anthony Simons over 3.5 assists, minus 136 at FanDuel, just a little bit too low. Took a few Jaden Ivey overs, 22.5 points, rebounds, assists, minus 117 over at Caesars. What do we have projected for? Let's see. I think there might be a better line there. Now the best line is that we have them projected at 22.95. I think that's low. Just going to be doing a little too much. Also over 3.5 rebounds, minus 114 over at FanDuel. I'm fairly certain that one moved as soon as I bet it. We'll see. Minus 118. Still like it at minus 118. Killian Hayes under 11.5 points, minus 115 over at FanDuel. And then I'm doing a lot of overs on Levine and DeRozan. I'm taking their over on points, rebounds, assists, and their points. You can get the over on points, rebounds, assists. The best line is minus 120 for DeRozan at 36.5 over at Betway or DK. Same thing. Over 31.5 for Levine at Betway or DK. The line is drastically different depending on where you're betting it. Just drastically different. Levine currently finally moved to 32.5 over at DK. Still like it that. 33.5 at most other sites. Heavy juice on the over, and a lot of them with 31.5. I still like all of them. I'm also rolling with the over on points. Levine, the best line is over at Superbook, minus 115 at 22.5. I also took it at Sports Illustrated at 22.5 minus 125. Levine, we currently have projected for 23.6. You can still get it minus 120 over at MGM. Otherwise, the line's moving to 23.5. Too low on both of those. And same thing with DeRozan over 26.5 points, minus 106 over at Superbook. I definitely entered this wrong. 5-0. There we go. Minus 111 over at Sports Illustrated. Next best line, I think, is going to be over at minus 105 over at MGM. Yeah, they just won't let me get anything down. So go hit that at MGM. That's basketball. Let's go and look into some football here. I got four. Eric, I just talked about Levine over 22.5 points. Yeah. Zach Moss under 8.5 receiving yards, -110 over at FanDuel. I have this as about a 56% chance of hitting the under. I don't think he's going to be used a ton in the receiving games. Jackson's going to be used a decent amount in the receiving game, so I'm rolling with it. Joshua Palmer over 33.5 receiving yards, -115 over at Betfred. Let's see what else you can get that line at. I'm fairly certain it's available in other spots. -115 over at MGM. You can get it -110 at 35.5. Still think that's solid there. I would definitely hit that. Palmer has hit this in, I think, 7 games in a row. He's hit the over at this number, averaging like 70 yards during that span. I know that a lot of those games were without Keenan Allen or without Mike Williams or without both. For the last 2 games, 5 and 6 targets, easily hit the over on yards in both of them. I think that this line's just drastically too low. RG Projections has him close to 40 here. I just don't understand this line at all. I'm rolling with a few unders on Pierce and Pittman. Pierce under 37.5 receiving yards, -115 at Win. Pittman under 65.5, -115 over at WinBet. Best line for Pittman right now is going to be over at PointsBet. Pretty much the same line. If you don't have WinBet in your state. Best lines for Pierce is going to be under 38.5, so a little bit better than mine over at MGM. Again, MGM just doesn't let me get anything down. Both of these guys have been hitting this under pretty drastically. I think both of them have hit the under in 5 out of the last 6 games. Nick Foles, probably a lateral move, if not a worse quarterback than Matt Ryan. Probably better than Ellinger. It's not really saying too much. But I think they're going to run the ball on the ground. Chargers, obviously, a team where you want to run the ball more of a run funnel. They're going to try and keep the ball out of Nick Foles' hands, I believe. This game's still projected to be close with just a 3-point spread. Just a bad overall line. Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's my bets today. Yeah, that's it. That's the show. Again, go sign up for scoresandodds.com. I think we still have the basketball pass going until the end of the basketball regular season. 189 points, or $189, I believe, for the next 5 months. Still absolutely worth it. Go check it out. I'm out of here. Bye, kids.